live from Chicago. This is News 3 Now's special coverage of the Democratic National Convention.
Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Welcome to News 3 Now's live coverage of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Josh Breiter. Kyrie Lee is live along the Chicago River this morning with the top stories from there. Chris and Kyrie making the old switcheroo overnight.
Yeah, I hope you're enjoying the scene down there as much as I did. It's just a gorgeous view of Chicago, Kyrie.
Yes, good morning, Chris and Josh. Yes, pulling the old switcheroo on you this morning, and I am thoroughly enjoying the scene here in Chicago. Great start to the morning. Temperatures feeling phenomenal, so I am here for it. But yes, we are into the third day of the Democratic National Convention here in Chicago. We're live outside the hotel where the 95 Wisconsin delegates are staying. We'll be going to that breakfast a little later this morning, just about an hour here. But the theme for today is a fight for our freedoms. Now, we went to the Republican National Convention last month, and there was a lot of energy there, and I'm seeing similar energy here in Chicago. The United Center was roaring last night as the Obamas hit the stage, and we are expected to hear from more high-profile Democrats to address the crowd at the United Center today. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg will be one of the first speakers in the evening session. House Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi will take the stage shortly after. Former President Bill Clinton will speak later, and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will give the keynote address where he will accept the nomination for vice president. Now, other notable Democrats continue to make the push for Vice President Kamala Harris, and last night's headlining speech, as mentioned, was former President Barack Obama. Now, the latest two-term president spoke at his 6th straight DNC right here in his hometown. Obama used his time on stage to thank President Joe Biden, who, of course, was his vice president. And he also looked to distinguish the current vice president, Kamala Harris, from her opponent, former President Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris won't be focused on her problems. She'll be focused on yours. As president, she won't just cater to her own supporters and punish those who refuse to kiss the ring or bend the knee. She'll work on behalf of every American. That's who Kamala is.
Former First Lady Michelle Obama spoke just before the former president and introduced him onto the stage. Both of them received a standing ovation. Her speech had many of the same themes as that of former President Barack Obama. There were also a number of attacks on his successor, such as this one.
I want to know who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs.
That attack was a reference to a remark former President Donald Trump made at the CNN presidential debate a couple of months ago regarding immigration. Now, also at the convention, thousands of delegates making their voices heard. The convention held a ceremonial roll call, and that was for Vice President Kamala Harris, and in attendance were the 95 Wisconsin delegates casting their votes. Now, they did this a few weeks ago, but they did it again last night. We've heard from several of the delegates throughout the convention, and yesterday we spoke with another one of them, Secretary of State Sarah Godlewski.
This is where we are having conversations about the decisions making about democratic values and democratic principles, and we want to make sure that we are getting all of the information here so we can go back home, because as Kamala says, when we fight, we win.
Even with the convention in progress, Vice President Harris is on the campaign trail. She made her latest stop in Milwaukee. Harris and running mate Tim Walz spoke at Fiserv Forum. That, of course, is where the Republicans held their convention just last month. A high-capacity crowd turned up for the Democratic nominee. Here's what one attendee had to say.
Well, I'm here also for the future of my granddaughter and other girls like her. I think the Kamala Harris and Tim Walz campaign is the piece of joy that we've needed in this campaign up until this point. And I feel like she is the best person to make sure that women's rights are preserved.
The campaign is returning to Chicago for the remainder of the convention. As mentioned earlier, Governor Tim Walz will speak at the United Center tonight. The Republican ticket is also busy campaigning, though. Vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance was in Kenosha yesterday. He held a news conference on crime and safety at the Kenosha County Courthouse. It comes close to 4 years to the day after Jacob Blake was shot in the back by police in Kenosha and left paralyzed. It led to civil unrest in the city. Senator Vance spoke about that in his message to voters.
You saw it with the riots in Kenosha in the summer of 2020. Wisconsin has suffered when you don't have good, smart, pro-public safety leadership. And that's what Donald Trump and I want to bring back to the White House.
Political reporter Will Keneally spoke one-on-one with Senator J.D. Vance. You can find that conversation over on our website. That's channel3000.com. Again, day 3 of the Democratic National Convention, and this is just leading up to the big speech tomorrow night from Vice President Kamala Harris. But again, tonight we will hear from Vice President nominee Tim Walz. I'm going to send it back over to you all in the studio.
All right, Kyrie Lee live in Chicago for us this morning. Kyrie, thank you.
All right, let's check in now with meteorologist Savannah Burrito, who's standing outside on the patio. How is it feeling out there?
Guys, it's a little chilly outside, and we're still dealing with some patchy, dense fog. Madison is back up to 6 miles, so some of the fog is dissipating. Janesville was actually down to just 1/4 mile for quite some time. Now they're up to 10, which is full visibility. So most of the fog is directly northwest and also west of Madison. Boscobel down to 1/4 mile. Black River Falls down to 3. Temperatures are dropping out there. We're down to 50 now in Madison, 48 though in Deerfield. Some surrounding areas are as low as the mid-40s, but Black River Falls even cooler than that at 42. That's the cool spot this morning. We'll see another night ahead where it will be comfortable to open up those windows before we start to see much warmer air buildup. That's for the weekend. We'll talk about how warm temperatures are going to go and also how long the above average temperatures will stick around. That's coming up.
All right, Savannah, thank you. 6:06 right now. Whether it's sports teams or colleges, people love using clothing to show their pride, and the same is true at this convention.
Our Merrill Hubbard takes us around the United Center to see what kind of swag is popular this year.
We are wrapping up day 2 of the DNC, and I talked with people here at the United Center along with Wisconsin local leaders to see what kinds of merch people are wearing to rep the Democratic Party.
I'm repping all the way out, right?
This is a very important and historic time, and as we know, Illinois is a state of big shoulders, and so we will make sure we're doing our part.
Here in Chicago, everyone reps the Democratic Party in their own way.
Here you're going to see people holding signs that say USA. You're going to see American flags. You might see some cheese heads tonight from the Wisconsin delegation.
People really representing their state, but you're going to see American flags. I've got on my American flag hat.
We are seeing some Kamala Walz merch, custom hats, USA swag, people in suits, and then some people in the crowd are wearing pearls with pink and green.
I'm wearing pink and green because in 1908, there's different sororities that got founded, and our colors are pink and green, and so I just wanted to show my pride.
Rennell Perry is sorority sisters of Kamala Harris, as they were both in Alpha Kappa Alpha, a historically African-American organization that has been around for over 100 years.
We want to show the diversity of this coalition that's coming together.
Whether people are representing their state or sorority, they are all showcasing their pride for the Democratic Party.
So that's why you see that. It's a rainbow of different colors and people, and every nationality is represented. And that's what we're all about, is unification.
As we move into the rest of the week, we will certainly see more states repping the Democratic Party with their own flair. Reporting at the United Center, Merrill Hubbard, News 3 Now.
You know, I saw some of those merch tables when I was at the DNC this week, and I was kind of surprised at how expensive some of the stuff was. It was like $45 for a baseball hat.
A hat?
A hat. So if you're going to dress up for, I mean, they're opportunists.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, it's in demand. You got it there. You know, you can jack up the prices, you know, as it would. There was a lot of DNC Kamala specific garb. Those Tim Walz hats with the camo hats. Saw a lot of those. So yeah, if you wanted something like that though at the convention, it was gonna cost you.
Interesting. I mean, nowadays, especially with social media, just those visuals, right? Like getting that stuff out there right away for people to see, and it's eye-catching. I mean, that's the whole point of it.
Yeah, and it's incredible how fast they can do it to make the pivot from all the Biden merch to all of the Harris merch. They got that done pretty quick.
Nothing's better than the cheese head, though, for Wisconsin. I feel like we just beat everyone out of the water with that look. I love it.
All right, let's check in with Savannah now and see what's coming up in your forecast. Hey there, Savannah.
Hey guys, it's still pretty foggy out there, but we are going to see this dissipate. We'll talk about when that'll be the case.
And after the break, we'll rejoin Kyron Lee in Chicago with more live coverage of the Democratic National Convention. Time right now is 6:09. We'll be right back after this.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Brought to you by Toyota.
It's Toyota's national sales event. Swipe into end of summer fun with an exciting new Toyota. Whether you're paddleboarding in a RAV4, mountain biking in a Tacoma, or tubing with your best friends in a Camry, you'll find plenty to post about all summer long.
Right now, during Toyota's national sales event, you can lease a new Tacoma for $349 a month. Or get 2.99% APR for 60 months on a new Tundra.
Come in today. Ooh, like.
Toyota, let's go places.
With Sweeto Metal Roofing, you get quality metal roofs installed by the best in the business. A metal roof means no fading, no storm repairs, true sustainability, and lower energy bills.
Sweeto Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
I have prepared a Thomas's breakfast for you to savor together.
Thanks, Tom. Hey, are English muffins from England?
Heavens no, they're from the pantry.
Are you from England?
Nay, I am also from the pantry. Huzzah! A toast to breakfast.
My son Joshua was 18 years old when he was murdered by an illegal alien. He was tortured, strangled to death, and then set on fire. When I hear Kamala Harris making a joke about the border and just laughing it off, it's painful. Kamala Harris was in charge of securing our border, and she's done nothing. If Kamala Harris is elected president, it'll get worse. If it can happen to my family, it can happen to yours.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
This is Kathy. She's about to see her dentist. She's afraid. Not because of the drill, but because of the bill. A big bill. But Kathy doesn't need to be afraid, and neither do you, thanks to affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company. It's easy to get this coverage. Don't believe me? Call or go online for all the details. You could even have this free information kit. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance. It helps pay for over 400 procedures. That's a lot. I'm talking cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures. Bottom line, you'll have help paying for routine care and expensive major work. But if you want deductibles, forget it. There aren't any. No annual maximum either. Plus, you can see any dentist you want. Stop fearing the big bill. Start saving at the dentist. Call now or go to sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
This is a hallway. Doesn't evoke much feeling. But to those facing cancer or a complex condition, it feels like relief. Because all the doctors, treatments, and technology you've been fighting to find, they're all right here, under one roof, connected by hallways instead of highways. East Park Medical Center, coming soon. UW Health, remarkable.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning, moving forward.
All right, we're back here at 6:12, continuing our coverage of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago.
Kyron Lee is there this morning after arriving overnight. Kyron, how are things there along the Chicago riverfront this morning?
Good morning, Chris and Josh. Everything is going great here along the Chicago Riverwalk this morning. The temperatures are perfect as we head into day 3 of the Democratic National Convention. I will have to say, we have to give a shout out to our photojournalist, Mark Schilling, who's been killing it all week. This shot is absolutely beautiful. But we are just about an hour or so away from the Wisconsin Delegates Breakfast. We're live outside the hotel where they're staying at during this time. And we've been hearing from them all week just about the energy, what they expect, what they want to see. And after last night's speeches, I'm interested to see how they're feeling going into the final day, which is tomorrow. And we'll be hearing from Vice President Kamala Harris, who will take the stage once again. But today we are focused on the breakfast and also looking at a fight for our freedoms for the theme, but we will have much more coverage of that coming up in our next half hour, but I'm going to send it back over to you all in the studio.
All right, Kyrie Lee live in Chicago this morning. Kyrie, thank you.
6:14, let's get to some new information this morning. 4 people are displaced after a residential fire in the town of Oregon. First responders were called yesterday afternoon around 1 o'clock to a home on Thomas Lane, that is near Highway 14. It took firefighters about a half an hour to put it out. The home has significant damage this morning, and 1 pet did die. 2 other pets were rescued, though. Officials believe an electrical fault caused the fire. Crews from 12 agencies ended up responding.
An update on a story we first brought you yesterday morning. A missing veteran from Janesville has been located. A green alert was issued when 61-year-old Peter Clark was reported missing. He had last been seen Sunday afternoon, but officials reported just last night before 9 o'clock that Clark had been located. That green alert no longer active.
6:15, let's get an update on your forecast on a Thursday. Savannah's got 3 things to know. Hey there.
Hey guys, it'll be a comfortable week, so those below average temperatures are going to continue today. Most areas expected to make it in the lower to mid 70s, kind of a copy and paste pattern from literally every weather condition we had yesterday. Dry conditions, lighter winds, partly to mostly sunny skies, and cooler than normal temperatures. We are going to heat up again by the weekend. 80s are going to return, could even make a run for the 90-degree mark, at least in some areas. I think that'll be a better chance west and also south of Madison, especially across northern Illinois, out in Iowa potentially too. But overall dry the next couple of days. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, minimal chances for rain. No day out of your weekend is going to be a washout. We are tracking visibility issues still early this morning. Madison down to 6 miles. Some visibility is actually dissipating out there. Boscobel is still down to just 1/4 of a mile. Camp Douglas down to 1/8 of a mile though. So mainly in the River Valley, west and also northwest of Madison, you might encounter some patchy, dense fog until about mid-morning. Then I expect that to dissipate completely. Temperatures still falling. More of us joining those upper 40s. Middleton, Verona, Cross Plains, Sauk City, all sitting at 49 degrees. That's not the coolest temperature out there though. 42 in Black River Falls, 43 in Camp Douglas. We're still at 50 in Madison. Even that though is nearly 10 degrees below average. The next couple of nights we'll see slightly warmer temperatures, still below average, but then over the weekend those temperatures, nighttime and afternoon temps, both climb. High pressure is still sitting overhead. That breaks down some tomorrow, but more specifically Friday, and that slides southeastwards. Those clouds and all those rain chances better sitting out west eventually slide closer to southern Wisconsin. Tomorrow there'll definitely be more cloud cover than what we saw yesterday and what we'll see today, and then shower chances are going to increase at least central and northern Wisconsin. That'll be into Friday morning. I think we could see some spotty showers, but again, it's not going to be widespread or a complete washout heading into this upcoming weekend. Something to note though, the warmer temperatures not going to last that long. By Friday, that's when those start to build, 79, and then by the weekend, we're at 87 Sunday, 88 on Monday, but then by the end of next week, you can see temperatures falling off again.
The wait is over. Badger volleyball is officially back. Wisconsin returned to the field house for a tune-up before the real matches start and their gauntlet of a regular season begins. And before the match, they unveiled their national semifinalist banner. The reigning National Player of the Year already looks in midseason form. Sarah Franklin serves up an ace. She also finished with 10 kills. And Carter Booth was bringing the heat. Charlie Furbringer sets at the booth, and she hammers it home. Game high, 12 kills from her. Badgers take this one in straight sets. And there was a special guest in attendance for the sweep. Fresh off winning a silver medal in Paris, Dana Rettke was home at the field house, and for the first time Olympian. Though she admits she's still trying to wrap her head around the experience, but it's one she says she'll never forget.
It was an amazing experience. I was so happy just to be there and to be amongst some of the greats in not only like our sport of volleyball, but in all sports and all across the world. It was a very overwhelming experience, but I will say like every dream that I ever had came true.
Year 3 of the Ryan Munns era is underway at Platteville, and each season that he's been leading the Pioneers, his team got better. They went from 5 wins to 7 last year, and now they're thinking even bigger. Platteville returns 9 starters from an offense that put up 35 points per game, as well as a handful of guys on defense. And for the focus for this group as they continue to swing the axe is simple. Just finish.
Now it's about continuing to stack on top of the year before. And for us, obviously, competing at a high level and being in a top 5 team in the nation and winning the WIC is the goal. Always is, every year, no matter what we do here.
I think our team definitely has a chip on our shoulder. So I think really this year focus is finishing games. And like in practice, too, it all comes down to practice when you're tired, when you're things like that. Finishing out those team segments, finishing out those reps is going to be really important.
Yeah, talking about.
Well, the Red Hot Brewers back in action after a day off, opening up a 3-game series with the Cardinals. 8th inning, they're up 2-0, and William Contreras hits this baseball 399 feet dead center. Just far enough for an RBI double, and that was a big run. Brewers hold on for the win, 3-2, the final. And that's it for Morning Sports. Have a great day.
Thank you, Zach. Here's another sports-related story to tell you about. A local Madison athlete will represent the U.S. at the Special Olympics World Games. Annie Mulligan will compete in snowshoe racing. She's been involved with the Special Olympics for more than 10 years and has also participated in basketball, bocce, swimming, and tennis. The World Games will take place in Turin in March of 2025.
There you go, Annie. We'll be rooting for you.
Wow, multi-sport talented there.
Go
Love
get
to
it.
see it. Still ahead for us, what song best represents Wisconsin? We'll find out which one Wisconsin delegates chose at the DNC.
Coming up in our next half hour, we'll continue our live coverage from Chicago and the Democratic National Convention, how content creators are getting involved this year.
The First Warn Weather Team takes you beyond the barometer, only on News 3 Now.
Hey there, Madison. Dina here again. If you have a plumbing emergency, you need the RHD Dream Team difference. Call us in the morning and we'll see you the same day. If it leaks, bursts, or freezes, you need the RHD Dream Team. We remedy your disaster fast. That's the Dream Team difference.
Shopping online for a Purple mattress? We get it. With Purple's unique Gel Flex grid and multiple foam layers, you'll experience effortless sleep that's motion adaptive, temperature balanced, pressure relieving, and ultra supportive. But which Purple mattress is right for you? Come to Denver Mattress and test for yourself. During Purple's Labor Day sale, save up to $1,000 on mattress and base bundles and get an instant gift. Shop Purple at Denver Mattress, the easiest way to find your perfect Purple.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Get 1.9% financing on this 2024 Silverado when you finance with GM Financial. Or get $5,750 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
Stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays that can take 30 minutes to an hour. I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of PowerSwabs. When I met Dr. Ginniker and he introduced me to PowerSwabs and I saw how effective they were and how easy they were to use, I knew we had to share it with the world. PowerSwabs was clinically studied to whiten natural teeth as well as stained caps, crowns, and veneers. It's so effective, it works on stains caused by coffee, tea, red wine, and even smoking. For those of you who have that one stained tooth, PowerSwabs can target that area using swab precision.
The first time I tried it, I was so surprised. My husband was so excited that he wanted to run out and get it. And he said, I can't believe how white your teeth are. From that point on, I've been sold.
Order PowerSwabs and receive up to 50% off the retail price. And as an added bonus, get a free quick stick pen with your order. Dial the number on your screen or visit powerswabs.com today.
Right now with Papa Murphy's, we've got a great deal.
Which means I make more great pizza.
Get select large thin crust pizzas for $8.99. Papa Murphy's. We make great pizza so you can make the pizza great.
Such a great deal.
$8.99. That is a great deal.
Broadway has arrived. See the best of Broadway. Subscribe at overture.org.
They say the kitchen is the heart of the home, but one look at this mess proved this love affair was over. If outdated, worn, and no wow factor describes a room in your home, you need the RHD Dream Team difference. We'll be on time, on budget, and fabulous from design to installation to put the heart back into your home.
Welcome back, 6:24 on a Wednesday morning. Chris sharing his morning, not Chris Stamper, but another Chris, and that is a beautiful shot right there.
I can't take photos this nice.
I love the reflection of the sun always in the water.
Are you like the dad photo taker with your thumb like in the screen?
It happens from time to time. It does. It does. It
Just
does.
kidding.
Hey, Chris, appreciate the photo. Thanks for sharing it with us. So trending this morning, you know, the DNC put each state in the spotlight last night during the roll call, and they each got to pick their own song to go along with their introduction. The tune usually has something to do with the state, some kind of connection. So, for example, Alabama came out to Sweet Home Alabama by Leonard Skinner.
Of
Vermont treated to the song Stick Season by Noah Kahan, who is from the Green Mountain State, and has only made sense for Wisconsin to come out to Jump Around.
Of course.
It's the best part about a Badgers game.
As well.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
I was loving how they were representing last night. You know, no matter what political affiliation you have, cool to see the state on the national stage last night wear those G sets.
It's pretty funny.
Well, obviously, we know Wisconsin's going to be important in this election as well. So putting them out front and center as that battleground state wearing the cheese head.
A lot of pride.
Leaving that visual for sure.
All right, well, I found this a bit interesting. Some health news here. A new study published in the journal Nature Aging found that humans age more rapidly at 2 points in life. Researchers found most molecules in the body age quickly at age 44 and 60. The findings are based on more than 100 different studies here. One bottom line from the study says people getting close to 60 years old should keep close watch on their carb intake and drink enough water to maximize kidney functions. 44, I'm getting close. And I'm starting to, you know, when I hit 40, I started to feel, I'm like, something's going on here.
See, I felt it at 30. My metabolism just went right down the drain. So,
yeah, Savannah, you got some stuff to look forward to there.
Yeah, sure, guys. I already have my first wrinkles in my forehead coming in. I've been noticing that lately. We'll talk about the heat that's on the way for the weekend coming up.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
To everyone out there who loves Culver's,
the feeling is mutual.
Everything's made fresh.
Everything.
Everything. It's our pleasure.
This is me and my happy place.
I wouldn't trade our Culver's for any other restaurant. Culver's. Yay! We love our guests.
Love. As much as our guests love us.
This is me and my happy place.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
Certain this is gonna work?
Nothing to it.
For Imprint certain?
Certainty matters. 4imprint is your home for promo gear to wow clients and inspire your team. Check out 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
I'm so happy. I just put this dress on that I haven't worn in over 10 years.
This summer, feel confident from head to toe with Sonobello Permanent Fat Removal and get summer body ready in just one visit.
I saw the results immediately. It's the best I have felt since I was in my 20s.
My waist is tiny. I'm very, very happy.
I'm nearly 50, y'all, and my abs haven't been this flat since before I had kids.
For a limited time, take advantage of Sonobello's biggest sale of the year. Sonobello's board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells for good on your stomach, hips and thighs, back, and so much more.
It will change your life. It did for me.
I can't wait till the summertime hit. Hot Mom Summer, here I come.
Call 1-800-905-6520 now or go to sonobello.com to claim special pricing.
My day is packed.
Client meetings.
Patient rounds.
Getting kids out the door.
But Eric Hovde thinks all women care about is Hollywood.
It's just deplorable. Sadly, with, females, they spend too much time focused on what's going on in Hollywood.
Well, guess what, Eric Hovde?
We know you supported overturning Roe versus Wade.
And we know you'd vote for a national abortion ban, too.
Eric Hovde must think he knows better than us.
What is wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Now is the best time to buy new Champion windows, because when you buy two, you get two free.
Hurry, Champion's Buy Two, Get Two free sale is for a limited time.
That's a great deal. Thanks.
Call 888-4CHAMPION or schedule your free in-home estimate online today.
A lot of law firms claim to be experts at handling injury cases that involve large trucks. But handling one trucking case does not make you an expert on the subject. Experience matters in these cases. One local firm has handled 25 trucking cases which resulted in payments over $1 million each, and hundreds of others as well. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
Live from Chicago, this is News 3 Now's special coverage of the Democratic National Convention.
6:30 on a Wednesday morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to News 3 Now special coverage of the DNC. I'm Josh Breiter.
And I'm Chris Stanford. Thanks for joining us. Kyrie Lee is live in Chicago today with a look ahead at what we should expect from day 3 of the Democratic National Convention. Kyrie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Chris and Josh. Hope all is well back in Madison, because it's a beautiful start to the morning here in Chicago as we head into day 3 of the Democratic National Convention, as mentioned. But right now we're going to recap what you missed last night, either while you were up watching or you may have been sleeping. So the theme for last night was a bold vision for the future, and we heard speeches that ran late once again, and the keynote address was from the Democratic Party's one of the most esteemed members, who had a message for Democrats as they head into the final months of the campaign.
If we work like we've never worked before, if we hold firm to our convictions, we will elect Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States. We will elect leaders up and down the ballot who will fight for the hopeful, forward-looking America we all believe in. And together, we too will build a country that is more secure and more just, more equal, and more free. So let's get to work.
That was former President Barack Obama who closed out the night. He followed addresses from former First Lady Michelle Obama and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. We also got a chance to see an in-person roll call from delegates who had already nominated Harris earlier this month virtually. Harris wasn't in person to accept that celebratory nomination. The VP was actually in Wisconsin campaigning with her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. The two made an appearance at Milwaukee's Fiserv Forum. That's where Donald Trump accepted his party's presidential nomination last month. While she was there, Harris doubled down on a core theme of her campaign.
This is not just about us versus Donald Trump. This is about two very different visions for our nation. One, ours, focused on the future. The other, focused on the past.
Harris also used her time in Milwaukee to talk about lowering the cost of health care, child care, housing, and paid leave. It's those issues related to economic populism Democrats are focused on as they look to reestablish themselves as the party of the working and middle class.
I think most people are more concerned about the bread and butter issues, the kitchen table issues. If they're having problems getting by, they want to know what the candidates are going to do to improve their situation.
But it wasn't all support from thousands who gathered to see Harris and Walz. Outside of Fiserv Forum, pro-Palestinian protesters called for a ceasefire and an arms embargo on Israel. Now let's get to what we are expecting today. The theme is a fight for our freedoms. This calls back to the tour of college campuses by the same name Harris made when she was campaigning with Joe Biden in 2023. And vice presidential candidate Tim Walz will formally accept his party's nomination during a primetime address tonight, and convention organizers say they'll be highlighting Walz as a champion for America's working families and a staunch defender of those same fundamental freedoms. Now, we're also expecting to hear from former President Bill Clinton, Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi, and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Some of the main issues taking the stage will be reproductive rights, LGBTQ+ rights, and racial equity. Of course, we'll be keeping an eye on all of the speeches and other events happening throughout the day here at the Democratic National Convention. Now, again, this is day 3. This is leading up to the big speech tomorrow as Vice President Kamala Harris will hit the stage at the United Center. But we will continue to keep you updated here on the air and, of course, over on our website, channel3000.com. Going to send it back over to you all in the studio.
All right, Kyrian, great coverage out there this morning. Thank you.
6:34, let's take a break. Check in with meteorologist Vanna Brito out on the patio. How is it out there?
It's a little chilly, dare I say, for this time of year. And we also have some visibility issues to talk about because our winds are calm, our skies cleared out, and because how low our temperatures did fall, that's allowing some patchy fog. Some of that dissipating. Janesville held on to 1/4 mile for quite some time. They're now up to full visibility at 10 miles. So it's not really expanding anymore. Some of that across Dane County also off to a little bit of a better start right now than what we had an hour ago when we were under 2 miles. We're now up to 6 miles in Madison, but along the river valley areas northwest and directly west of Madison, some of those places are down to 1/4 mile, so there is patchy dense fog you might encounter if you're traveling those ways. Just allow a little bit of extra time, maybe 5 or 10 minutes for morning commutes. 50 in Madison. There are places that are down to the 40s, though, upper 40s across Dane County, and then even a 42 in Black River Falls. Usually our average nighttime temperature for this time of year about 58 to 59 degrees, so we're significantly below that in some areas across southern Wisconsin. This sticks around for one more day before we start to see warmer temperatures. This weekend, very warm weather, above average returns. We'll talk about how high temperatures are going to go and how long it'll stick around coming up.
All right, Savannah, thank you. More Campaign 2024 coverage now. Wisconsin also receiving a Tuesday visit from the Republican vice presidential nominee, J.D. Vance.
Speaking at a news conference in Kenosha, Vance talked about his party being that of law and order. He harkened back to memories in the city from 4 years ago when a Kenosha police officer shot Jacob Blake 7 times in the back, leaving him paralyzed. That wasn't all about the past, though, yesterday. Vance also looked to defy that categorization from the Harris campaign. In an exclusive interview, our political reporter Will Keneally asked Vance why Wisconsinites looking to the future should vote for Trump.
We really believe that we can rebuild American manufacturing. We should make more stuff in America. We should do it with Wisconsin workers. And I think if we have smarter policies, we'll do just that. Look, I grew up in a poor family. I know very, very importantly that if the police aren't empowered to do their job, it is often the kids in the poorest neighborhoods who lose access to public safety. We just have to get back to common sense police policy, make our police feel supported, give them the pay and benefits they need, and actually make it a little bit easier for them to do their job. If we do that, we're going to have safer streets here in Kenosha and everywhere else.
You can watch Will's full interview with the vice presidential nominee at channel3000.com.
6:36 still ahead on a Wednesday morning. We're live with continuing coverage of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. What day 3 and day 4 are set to bring.
And some local news, big news here in Madison. This Common Council voting on that proposed tax hike, the referendum on the November ballot. We'll let you know if you can see it.
Are you ready to make junk disappear?
I am so looking forward to this.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point. Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
We'll be there before you hang up the phone.
This famous wood fence from the show Home Improvement had to have boards replaced 13 times in only 9 years. Our fences outlast wood 3 to 1 and are all backed by our extensive lifetime warranty. This month, save $1,000 on your project. Visit the website or call the number for your new fence today.
At Toyota's National Sales Event, we've got a long lineup of vehicles for summer fun, like Camry, RAV4, Highlander, BZ4X, Tundra, Corolla Hybrid, Tacoma, Sienna, Corolla Hatchback, Sequoia, Prius Prime, RAV4 Hybrid, Land Cruiser, GR Supra, Toyota Crown, 4...
Right now, you can lease a sporty new 2024 Corolla for $219 a month, or lease a new 2025 Camry for $349 a month.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Save big money with these hot deals at Menards. All prices after 11% rebate. These paint roller covers are just $1.99 each. Men's performance work gloves only $2.99 per pair. 75-count disinfecting wipes are only $3.54. Bacon wrap, stuffed chicken breasts, only $5.99. These hot deals won't last long. Hurry in before time runs out. Sign up for Menards emails to get more hot deals, plus the weekly flyer right to your inbox.
Save big money at Menards.
My son Joshua was 18 years old when he was murdered by an illegal alien. He was tortured, strangled to death, and then set on fire. When I hear Kamala Harris making a joke about the border and just laughing it off, it's painful. Kamala Harris was in charge of securing our border, and she's done nothing. If Kamala Harris is elected president, it'll get worse. If it can happen to my family, it can happen to yours.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
This is the Tempur-Pedic Breeze mattress, and it's designed to help you feel cool. So no more sweating all night, no kicking off the covers or blasting the air conditioning, because only the Tempur-Pedic Breeze is made with our one-of-a-kind cooling technology that pulls heat away from your body, so the mattress feels up to 10 degrees cooler all night long.
Save up to $700 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets and get a $300 gift. Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right Tempur-Pedic. Chicago hosts the Democratic National Convention, and News 3 Now will be there. We'll bring you live team coverage all week as the Democratic Party takes center stage in the Windy City, rallying around their presidential ticket. Plus, we'll talk to delegates about the issues that matter most to voters here in Wisconsin. Campaign 2024 coverage live from the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. All this week on News 3 Now, moving forward.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning, moving forward.
We're back now at 6:40 with more DNC coverage live in Chicago.
Our Kyrie Lee is down along the Chicago Riverwalk downtown to continue things. You got a really interesting story here about some of the content creators that are allowed into the convention for the first time, Kyrie.
Yes, this is the first time in convention history that the DNC committee has credentialed more than 200 content creators here in Chicago to cover the entirety of the convention. Now, these content creators will have the same likelihoods of traditional media. They'll get to talk to politicians and delegates alike. And the DNC organizers say they're trying to reach more Americans than ever before.
For the first time ever, the Democratic National Convention
is credentialing content creators.
And guess what? Now I'm one of them.
To reach voters young and old, the Democratic National Convention Committee decided to take a different approach by opening the door to content creators.
Well, I think it's really smart because we know that there is an entire part of the population that now, for better or worse, gets their news on TikTok or another social media.
Kristen Bry is a Madison native and among the creators in the content creator program who are credentialed for the convention.
Majority of the feedback I got from people who enjoyed my RNC coverage online was that they felt like it was fun. They felt like they got the curtain pulled back a little bit of what it was like inside. And so I'm trying to repeat that as opposed to here's what the DNC platform is and, you know, talking about the different policy issues, because I think a lot of people will have that covered. And so I'm trying to bring my own flavor to it.
Bry is a host for Milwaukee's WTMJ AM radio and video columnist for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. But she is going into the DNC representing herself and her platform, As Goes Wisconsin. It's where she got her start and has gained more than 60,000 followers on TikTok. When searching As Goes Wisconsin, you'll find content about state news, politics, and culture that Bry describes as informative, uncomplicated, and irreverent.
This is going to be a great week.
Although Bry says she has left-leaning views, she plans to be herself.
There's more of a objective line I'm trying to walk, and I think that's actually better. That improves my content anyways, rather than just sharing my opinion all the time.
As part of the content creator program, Bry says the DNCC does not have guidelines about how they share their convention content online. Again, social media taking over everything here at the touch of our hand here. And as mentioned, there's no guidelines for these content creators as they go online, share their content. There's nothing about what they can say. They can share as they please. So again, this kind of just shows us how social media is becoming one of those things that people are looking to.
Yeah, it's about exposure, right? I mean, these content creators, I kind of put them in that kind of opinion category. They're providing a lot of analysis. It's, you know, that type of content. And it should be looked differently than what traditional journalism does. I appreciate Kristen telling her that this is hopefully going to open up her mind to being more objective and to provide more of that. But one thing I noticed when I was there, Kyrian, and you'll notice that again this morning, is that these content creators are getting access. I mean, they're, if not preferential treatment at sometimes, because they do reach a lot of people. When you're talking tens of thousands, if not more, for some of these content creators, there's an audience there, an untapped audience for a lot of these politicians that are available to them, Kyrian.
Yes, absolutely. Some of the content creators that are here at the DNC right now even have millions of followers. So it's really getting that reach, really, you know, getting what the DNC organizers are looking for. And this kind of also looks back at how Vice President Kamala Harris's social media team, they're taking to social media because they're reaching hundreds of thousands of people. But again, if you are getting your content from social media, just make sure you're fact checking, as Chris said, and you know, just make sure you're getting the facts straight. That's why traditional media is so important, because we're making sure we get your facts straight. But again, this is just a new and creative way that they're reaching voters.
Yeah, watch those TikToks, but also tune into News 3 Now this morning.
Understanding your source. I mean, understanding your source and the history of reporting that they've done. That's pretty important bedrock principle to hang your hat on. All right, Kyrian, we'll check back in with you in just a little bit.
Now to some of our other stories we are following on this Wednesday morning. Madison will have a referendum on their November ballots. Last night, the city council approving the $22 million property tax hike, 17-2. It's part of Mayor Satya Rhodes-Conway's long-term plan to close the city's budget gap without making cuts to city services. We do have a statement from the mayor on the matter this morning. It reads in part, quote, "The approval of a referendum in November is the only budgetary path in 2025 that protects our values as a community while we work to address the chronic underfunding of local governments at the state level. I'm glad the council agreed that putting that issue to the voters is the right thing to do," end quote.
Mayor Rhodes-Conway pulling double duty this week. She's also a delegate at the DNC.
I think that was her hotel room
probably
there.
From her hotel room in Chicago last night that she attended the meeting. We did want to take a minute to see just how voting yes and no on the referendum would affect you at home. The voters, if they approve, this tax hike would cost the average homeowner in the city about $20 a month. If voters don't approve the measure, if they shoot it down, the city says they'd have to eliminate nearly 150 positions from its workforce. That is on top of 144 positions that are vacant. Among cuts to police, the city would also reduce the CARES program and eliminate Sunday hours from city libraries.
More local news now. It's not just Madison with a referendum on the ballot. Voters in the city of Monona will decide on a tax levy this November. You'll be asked to approve a $3 million increase in the city's annual property levy. It's to address growing operating expenses. Similar to Madison, Monona says without the additional funds, it will have to cut programs or services. The tax increase would be about $164 per year per $100,000 in assessed property value.
646, checking in with meteorologist Savannah Brito in your first warn forecast. How are things out there, Savannah?
Guys, some of that fog is finally starting to dissipate. Madison is back up to 6 miles, but you can still see where the contour a little bit more prominent. Boscobel at 0. Black River Falls down to just half a mile of visibility. So mainly along the river valley, northwest and west of Madison, that's where still some patchy, dense fog does persist. Allowed a little extra time if you are traveling across Dane County, west and also northwest, maybe 5 to 10 extra minutes. As we get closer to mid-morning, that's when all that fog is going to dissipate. Our cooler temperatures, clear skies, and calm winds, those are all reasons leading to that patchy fog that is dense this morning across some of southern Wisconsin. 50 in Madison, 48 in Middleton, 49 in Mount Horeb. So temperature is actually kind of chilly. We're usually about 10 degrees warmer than this, at least across Dane County. Our average nighttime temperature 58 to 59 degrees, but Black River Falls all the way down to 42. We will have a few more nights before we start to see some warmer temperatures overnight and also during the afternoon as we work closer to the weekend. That's when warmer temperatures are going to return and also higher dew points. So enjoy the comfortable levels while we have them right now. Dew points stay below 60 until Saturday afternoon. That's when they spike, could be near 75 degrees. So it'll be very humid outside, especially by Sunday and Monday. Very hard to breathe out there, with those dew points reaching very close into the lower to mid 70s. High pressure overhead, that's keeping our skies mostly clear, and cooler temperatures. That breaks down and slides southeast of here. Hence these clouds and all these shower chances that are better out west slide in closer to our area tomorrow. I do expect more cloud cover to be out there, but then showers actually move into northern Wisconsin this time Friday. Could see a couple spotty ones heading into that time frame between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. No day out of your weekend is going to be a washout. In fact, I think our better chances for showers, maybe even a few isolated thunderstorms come into play on Tuesday. That right now looking like our better chance as a boundary sets up to our south. All the warmer weather that's affecting the deep south and Great Plains, that ridge or building heat slides closer to our area, hence creating above average temperatures. That's not going to last that long, starts to break down a little bit, especially mid to late week next week, but it will be pretty warm outside for the weekend. 85 Saturday, 87 on Sunday, 88 Monday, and then we start to get back to a seasonal pattern, but definitely going to be warm after that. I do think we could make a run for the 90s. The better chance of that is going to be to our south and to our west, but anyone that is heading out to Chicago, a little warmer than yesterday. It felt kind of cool outside. It was pretty windy, wasn't it, yesterday?
It was very comfortable.
Yeah,
a little bit of wind out there this morning, but hey, when you're that close to the lake in Chicago, the city is going to live up to its reputation.
The Windy City.
Exactly.
All right, Savannah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, we want to take a moment and show you something pretty cool from the convention.
Wisconsin delegates making their presence clear as they voted to nominate Harris again last night. Take a look at this.
My home state of Wisconsin. How do you cast your vote?
94 votes for former Wisconsinite, Vice President, and our next President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris. You know, you gotta have fun, right? You gotta have fun. And wearing a cheese hat is one of our emblems that we wear proudly. And I know some people are gonna say, oh, that's really corny, but Wisconsinites gotta have fun. And that's one way of doing it.
How much more Wisconsin can you get between the cheese head and jump around?
The key word, you gotta have fun.
You do have to have fun. Yeah, it was the talk of the night.
Yeah, this was the video from yesterday morning's delegate breakfast where they handed out all the cheese heads and they're like, hey, make sure you take good care of these cheese heads today. If you lose it, we don't have any more. So we want to see all those cheese heads on you tonight. And you heard Tony Evers there saying 94 votes, 95 delegates from Wisconsin. You had one abstention last night. You had 94 votes for Vice President Harris last night. And those delegates with the cheese heads and jump around going on. The Badgers represented, the Packers represented, bringing that football love from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin front and center. Definitely the good visuals last night. I remember seeing like a pan of the whole United Center and just picking out Wisconsin because you could see all the cheese.
It's hard to miss them. Hard to miss them. In Savannah, I love that they did this in Chicago, of all places, to rub it in those Bears fans' faces.
Josh is repping the navy blue for the Bears today. So.
No, never.
No, you got the Vikings tie on. We all like different teams. So
a little bit of everything.
Bring the variety.
All right, still ahead for us in the morning sprint. We'll check back in with Kyrie on what new security measures we'll see at the DNC today and why.
Morning sprints coming up right after this.
Sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
A1 Furniture and Mattress is closing their giant showroom, and that means the best prices ever. Everything must go. Over $1 million in inventory must be sold. Name brands at huge discounts for every room. Store closing sale on now at A1 Furniture and Mattress.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
There's a side of Eric Hovde you might not know. In his 20s, he was diagnosed with MS, and in that moment, his life and priorities changed. Eric started Hovde Homes. Hovde Homes rescue abandoned children from sex trafficking and slavery. For children who never experienced real love, Hovde Homes offer the love, care, and support they need to heal. MS changed Eric's life, and thousands of children are alive today because of it.
Drive into summer with the rugged Honda Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot. Summer is for exploring, so get outdoors, kick up some dust, get muddy, or just find that perfect campsite. All from Honda, the 2024 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. So act now to get an offer you'll love. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into the Honda Summer Event.
Champion's Big Window Sale is back.
Do you have ugly, hard-to-open, drafty windows? Now is the best time to buy new Champion windows, because when you buy two, you get two free. Buy two Champion windows, get two free? I guess that means if you buy four, you get four free. Buy six, get six free. Buy 10, get 10 free.
Hurry, Champion's Buy Two, Get Two free sale is for a limited time.
Great job, everybody. Thanks.
Call 888-4CHAMPION or schedule your free in-home estimate online today.
After my son was born, I was having a hard time leaving him, only being able to see him once before going to work and then once before bed. That's just not enough time.
At my old job, my entire check went to daycare to pay to be away from my child. We bring our kids with us in the mornings and they ride with us on our routes and then they go to school.
I'm on a route where I'm the one dropping my kids off at school. It's been phenomenal.
Being able to bring them with me has been really great for our family.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
The alarming spike in inflation soaring to its highest level in nearly 40 years.
That is called Bidenomics.
Gas prices rose again today, reaching a new all-time high.
We're still dealing with inflation, and we've got super high interest rates at the same time.
Bidenomics is working.
2/3 of Americans are just struggling to make ends meet.
And this comes after Friday's jobs report showing a spike in unemployment.
And we are very proud of Bidenomics.
A1 Furniture and Mattress is closing their giant showroom, and that means the best prices ever. Everything must go. Over $1 million in inventory must be sold. Name brands at huge discounts for every room. Store closing sale on now at A1 Furniture and Mattress.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
6:54, time for the morning sprint.
We start with Kyrie Lee live in Chicago.
Good morning. Yes, we're here for day 3 of the Democratic National Convention here in Chicago. The theme for today is a fight for our freedoms. We are expecting to hear from Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, who will give the primetime speech as he formally accepts the nomination for vice president. We're also expecting to hear from Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, former President Bill Clinton, and Nancy Pelosi. Now, more security fences will be going up today at the DNC. This after pro-Palestine protesters knocked one of the outer perimeters down on Monday. Police made several arrests that day and dozens last night. This comes as a group not affiliated with the coalition that organized Monday's demonstrations charged at police. More protesters are expected to be out today.
Thanks, Kyrie. The Dane County Medical Examiner's Office is identifying the victim of a deadly police shooting in Fitchburg. His name was Kevin Price, a 28-year-old from Madison. It happened at the Whispering Pines condominiums last week. Police say Price had a knife and charged at officers when one fired his gun and struck him.
Well, temperatures are going to be cool again, kind of a repeat of what we had yesterday, 75. Temperatures Thursday and Friday finally start to work closer to what's normal, but then a hot weekend ahead, 88 or 87 on Sunday and 88 on Monday. So we still got a couple dog days of August or summer.
I feel like today's like a top 10 weather day, though. 75, sunshine. Yeah.
Everyone needs to get outside.
Thanks, Savannah.
Yes.
We'll have another news and weather update coming up in 30 minutes.